Welcome back to Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Giff.
And, it's been a while. That's why I said welcome back tonight. We've been on a big hiatus.
My goodness. We've been all over the world.
We've been over the world.
World Tour, Pop Culture Yearbook World Tour.
Yeah. Hopefully people are enjoying going back to some of those episodes and trying to put out some polls that are interesting. We had a good one. A lot of Facebook interaction on the one I put out today on bands. So you guys should check it out.
I should check that out. I was on Twitter doing my voting twice.
Yeah. But anyway, we're back and we're starting a whole new year. So Pete, take it away.
Goodness. I'm going to open the yearbook to page 1981.
Yeah, we're going.
This
is
all actually
the way back.
An earlier one for us. We don't go. We haven't been back this far. I don't know. Have we ever done 1980?
Yes,
we did
1980.
And Brad cheated. Brad cheated.
No, I explained it.
The Jerk came out in '79, but it's such an iconic movie for us that we said, "Hey, you go right ahead."
It makes sense that Pete doesn't remember because remember a few weeks ago, Gifford, he didn't remember that we even did Caddyshack.
That's true.
Like our favorite movie, he didn't remember that we even did it. So Pete's a little.
Who cares? Yeah. Well,
what I'm interested to see is whether or not he remembers him taking a song that he could actually take in this year, and see if that one comes up again in our drafts.
It could. Yeah,
so
it might
we'll
have.
See if
you know what?
If he remembers that.
Do you know what? Are we getting paid for this? Then who cares?
I'm not. No.
Yeah. No. Then who cares?
I'm getting paid in laughs and chuckles.
We got one little thing to do here first. So we have a guest tonight, but before we introduce him, he's an old friend. We have, in this long break we've had, I've discovered a couple reviews we got on Apple. And we should definitely share those because we don't get them very often, and it's exciting when we do.
We have a shy audience.
This first one is from somebody named Tyler Panda. So I don't know who that is. But 5-star review, better than Cats. I laughed, I cried. It was better than Cats. So
wow,
pretty good.
That's high praise. With or without buttholes? That's the real question.
I get that.
Are you talking about the Cats or us?
The new Cats movie.
Yes.
All right. The other one, though, is extra special. This one I brought up several times. How I had a large contingent of my class this year discovered this show, and actually a couple of them really liked it and got into it. So this is from a student. I'm going to leave a name out of it, but the title is absolutely hilarious. And it says, I recently started listening to this because my teacher is in it, and it is absolutely incredible. This is definitely something I would recommend to others who enjoy relatable comedy and lighthearted fun. So I appreciate that so much. I get so excited. It was on May 20th, and I totally missed it. But that is a wonderful, wonderful student. And it's probably best I just don't use names.
Now
thank you. You know who you are. I hope you're still listening. Yeah. Because that made my day when I read it.
Sounds like a very well-educated child, and maybe one with an old soul.
It's a well-written review. As an English teacher, happy with that. And yes, this child does have an old soul. Great taste in music. They love Green Day. All kinds of just a wonderful student this year. One of my favorites.
Awesome.
And now,
thank you.
They're immortalized on my podcast page.
For listening. Immortalized. Wow.
It's
out there forever.
Yeah, we're not taking that away.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's get down to it. We have a guest. We have a guest that is creeping up on that 5-timers club, I think. I don't think we're quite there yet. It feels like you are because we've done so many back and forths.
Right.
But this is only the third time, right, Jim?
Yes. Third time.
But then Lindsay was on once without you, so it's kind of like your show.
She counts
is only one away from
combined. Yes,
from the 5-timers club. So we have Jim from Children of the 80s, who I'm excited to have on because I talk to Jim almost every single day. He's great. And we're doing 1981, and since he has just a couple years on us, he's going to probably add a little more to the thoughts and memories of that time here too. So say hi, Jim, and whatever else you want to say.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. You guys are 94, right? Class of 94?
Correct.
Yes,
so
sir.
I have a brother that's 94. So, yeah, we've got pretty much the same memories, but I've got a few earlier than you, but that's okay because anything after like 2000, I don't remember at all. And you guys cover it immensely. So we've got it covered there as well. And I will say that your student, whether boy or male or female,
It's a girl.
she should be the queen of 8th grade next year, right? You teach 7th grade. Is that right?
No, I teach 8th grade.
You
so
teach 8th grade.
She is moving on to the high school next year. So
Sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I
well.
hope
Well,
I've sent her
Well,
off positively.
queen of the freshman class then.
That's right.
There you go.
All right. So Jim's show, Nostalgia, Children of the 80s. We've had you on before. We've talked about it probably 100 times on here, even when you're not on. But this is a perfect time to bring you on because we're going to get into nostalgia. We're going to talk about the 80s and probably hit on some things you've discussed and hopefully some things that maybe you haven't. We always start with our memories when we have a new year. So we'll let you go first as our guest. What do you remember about the year of 1981, Jim?
Well, 1981, I was in 1st grade when the year started. I remember my teacher coming in, and she was probably about 173 years old. But I remember her coming in one day and asking, "Does anybody know what today is?" And one of the kids raised his hand and said, "Yeah, today's the day that the hostages come home."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "What are hostages?" Like, I had never heard that word before. But I soon learned. So that's a specific memory that I remember from 1st grade. Also remember that was the year Ronald Reagan got shot. I remember that. Also that year in 1st grade, April Fool's Day, I remember I didn't realize it was April Fool's Day, and the teacher came in along with the principal, and they said that the whole class had been bad all year long and she was tired of it. So we all had to line up to get spanked because, back then
It's a different time.
yeah, they did spank
Corporal
some kids.
punishment.
And so I just remember being terrified. And I remember my best friend, I was standing next to my best friend. He was like, let's just start down here and get it over with. And I'm thinking, no, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, start at the other end. Like, she's 173. She may die before she gets to us.
You're going to wait her out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I always play the long game.
Yep.
That's the same logic my friend uses when we have to get observed at school. He always goes for the latest time in the year just in case like something terrible happens. Then he never has to go through with it.
There you go. I agree with them. So I know you guys are huge sports fans and particularly big baseball fans. So 1981 was the year of Fernando Mania.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
See, I have no
so-
memory of that, but I loved hearing about it.
Fernando Valenzuela, 20-year-old rookie. He started out the season 8-0 with a 0.50 ERA.
I just saw that whole stat line the other day. It must have been on X somewhere. And it was I knew how good he was, but it was crazy to see. He gave up like 2 runs in 8 starts. And they were all complete games too.
Yeah, and he was just like so dominant, and it brought the Latino crowd into it, and they were waving Mexican flags because he was from Mexico. So it was just really exciting. So he would end up leading the league in the National League in strikeouts, innings, complete games, and shutouts. He won the National League Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award, and he was the first player to ever do that in the same season. He led the Dodgers to the World Series where they beat the Yankees 4-2. I remember my dad specifically saying, the Yankees will win this in 5, and then the Dodgers won it in 6. So just like me, my dad's a great prognosticator. But what was interesting that year was there was a strike in the middle of the year. There was a strike in June that lasted until August. And so what they did was they split up the season into 2 parts. And they had the first half winner of each division play the second half winner of each division in like a mini playoff. And then the winners of those series would play for the LCS to go to the World Series. And the disappointing part for 2 cities was, one was my St. Louis Cardinals. They actually had the best record in the National League East and didn't make the playoffs. And the Cincinnati Reds had the best record in the National League West, and they didn't make the playoffs because after the strike, the owners decided that they wanted some of that money back, and so they were going to have 2 rounds of playoffs, and they were going to take the first half winner and the second half winner. And this whole stupid thing about it was, like, the Cardinals finished, like, I think 1.5 games behind the Phillies the first half, but the Phillies played like 5 more games than them. And then the second half, they finished a half game behind the Expos, and obviously the Expos had played 1 more game than them. So they did their way. It wasn't even like really fair that the way they did it. And I'm sure the same thing happened with the Reds too, but that was one thing that I remember.
So when they did that, was it a 1-game deal, or was it just a one game to determine? Or was it a short series?
I think it was a best of 5. I think it was best of 5 because back then the LCSs were best of 5. So I think they just did a best of 5 to determine the division champion, and then a best of 5 to determine the LCS champion.
Were there any teams were there any teams, I wonder, that won both halves and didn't have to play it then?
Yes, there was. I think it was the. I don't. You know what? I don't remember. I think it happened in the American League, though. Not positive. But I think it happened in the American League.
All right. Cool. I'm glad you brought that up, by the way, about Fernando Valenzuela, because my glove that I used was a Fernando Valenzuela glove.
I think I had one of those too, Pete. Yeah. So that was all my 1981 memories. Other than on a personal note, that was the year that my stepmom, who I affectionately refer to as my mom, came into the picture with my dad, and they get married a year later. So
nice.
All right. Well done. You fit right in there. That was good stuff.
Thank you.
I'm still kind of going through a coughing fit. So how about Gifford? You go next.
Fair enough. Yeah. So for me, started the year in daycare in Marshall at Judy's, because she was our daycare lady that my mom went to college with. So kind of a very close friend of the family. That was always fun going over there. I remember watching a lot of Sesame Street down in the basement of daycare. That was sweet. But ended the year in Russell Tyler Public School System at Russell. And I had my teacher was Miss Lean. And the thing that I remember from this was going into school and like going off in a corner after my mom dropped me off and just crying. Like I was that kid who just kind of like, I mean, I wasn't like wailing, but just that soft sobbing that was going on because I didn't know anybody. And of course it's scary when you're a little kid, but warmed up to it pretty quick. And I remember my best friend that year was named Brian, but then he moved away the next year when we started first grade. But that's pretty much the only thing I can really remember. I mean, same old, growing up on the farm and doing your thing there. But yeah, nothing really stands out too much besides, starting kindergarten and Miss Lean's class. Pete, what do you got there? What happened in Tyler?
I just remember we were on the farm, which I've talked about before, but I spent so much time on the swing set. We actually had 2 swing sets outside. And we had one that had like the Olympic rings, and I was always trying to be an Olympian, doing the Iron Cross and everything. And we also had a foreign exchange student that year that graduated in 1981. I'm Facebook friends with her now still, but
Where's
I haven't.
from?
Sweden.
Okay.
So,
Sweden.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of specific memories about 1981.
I guess not.
Those would be the things that stand out.
I mean, you're 5. You're 4 turning 5. You just don't remember a whole lot.
I do have a few here, and I'll get into more actually when we do my episode for this month. So yeah, we were 5. And so we finished. You remember, Pete? It was called Romper School. Rompers.
Yes, as a matter of fact, that is one thing that it was in the building, by the way, that was pretty much almost in the backyard of my parents' house. Later on, we weren't living there at the time, but that was the building. It used to be a hospital, and that was the same building that my dad was born in. And of course, he passed away right across the street at the new Tyler Hospital in the nursing home.
So I can still picture going to preschool rompers and my mom dropping me off, and I think I cried a lot, like Gifford. The one memory I have, though, and it's probably this year, it's probably at the end of it, I got married. I don't remember who the girl was for sure, but we had like a wedding ceremony and got married at the end of preschool. Then we went into, so we started kindergarten, and
Guessing I wasn't the best man then either.
Oh,
wow.
whoa!
You probably were, and that's why Gifford was the next time around. Because
Right. See,
Okay, that's fair.
Your
That's
sloppy
fair.
seconds, Pete. I don't get past the first time, but the second.
But I can picture the first day of kindergarten and like walking up outside the elementary school and being so nervous. I was probably crying that day too, I'm sure. I don't know. But I do remember, at least in my head, what I remember is the first person that I met that like I talked to was Terry, Pete's cousin.
That
Terry.
is my cousin.
And
Still is.
he was a great friend, and we hit it off there, and he was in my kindergarten class, and like I still remember him being like the first person I met going into school, and always associate him with that. So thank you, Terry.
Nice.
The big thing from this year though was, and I'll talk probably more about this like I said in my episode, but there's a farm weekly newspaper. I'm going to grab it and get it out later. I don't know what the name of it is, but like a county farm type newspaper. And there's a big spread article on my dad. And there's this really cool picture of him with the big sideburns from 81. And I'll post that picture at some point this week. But then in the article, there's a picture of me and my brother feeding the cows. And like, that's probably my first, brush with fame. I was in the newspaper.
I remember that picture. I remember that picture.
Do, and I'll post that as well. So I got my picture in the paper, and that was a big deal. And, it's funny looking back because what I learned is, this is probably very shortly before we sold all our cows and things didn't go very well after that on the farm. But, we were kind of at that peak there where they were interviewing him and there was this cool story. But kind of tying into that, the biggest thing that I remember from that year is just riding around, whether in the car or wherever with my parents and listening to country music. And the 1980s country is something I'm obsessed with and I never get sick of. And it's actually kind of what brought Jim to us because, as he knows, one of the first episodes that they put out that I ever heard was it was called Pop Goes the Country. It was about country artists crossing over to pop in the early 80s. And I loved it. And I contacted him right after that, and here we are today.
And we've lived happily ever after since.
I found my brother I never knew. And so when we do my episode this month, we're going to be talking about all the great country songs from 1981 and all through the 80s. In fact, it's going to be an epic two-parter. It's going to be great, and it's probably the most excited I've ever been about an episode that we've done. So I can't wait for that, and I'll save some more of those memories for that time. But a lot of farm stuff, big time country people.
That's right.
Even though I was never a real farm kid, that's where I grew up.
You can't say that. There's photographic
I have those roots.
proof. There's photographic proof in a newspaper.
Eating a cow.
That's right. That's farming roots right there, buddy.
That's right.
If
All
you
right.
sold cows, you're a farm person. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, we were. And it was the same farm my dad grew up on, my grandparents lived on. So, that was a farm that went back decades, and it's just it's a great place. So happy.
I have a lot of great memories there myself.
Yes, we both do. So even though we're very much city boys, we're very glad we both grew up in those spots.
Right. We have the perfect lives, really, living in both the farm, the town, and the cities. So
best of both worlds. Just
we're
like
well-rounded. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I am well-rounded at this point in my life. That has nothing to do with anyway.
So we're gonna draft tonight, and we're gonna start with music. And so when I draft, I'll tell you right now, I'm not drafting any country songs. So if any of you have any country songs on your list, have at them.
Really?
Because I'm gonna save all of that for the episode where we talk about it. And
wow.
I have 30 other things listed of non-country songs because this is an amazing time in music.
Yeah.
Actually, one other thing I want to throw out there too. We didn't get it probably till a year or two later, but this is the year MTV came around. And so, as I've mentioned, we had the big satellite dish on our farm where we got MTV when like nobody else did because there was no cable. And the limited cable that people had in town didn't have MTV. So I grew up on MTV. and that started this year. And so many of these songs and videos are things that, even though I was 5, like within a year or two, I knew every one of these, and it's just such a great time. So there you have it.
Good
Anybody
stuff.
have anything to say before we draft this music?
I'm excited for this. That's all I got to say.
This is going to be the highlight of this episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the music is far ranging and plentiful. I'm going first in music. I wish I was not, because I don't think you're going to have a bad list in music. To be honest, I don't think you can possibly do it. We're a little tight as we get into movies and TV, so I was hoping to go earlier in one of those.
And just to clarify too, because I had to clarify with Jim, you can pick songs or albums. If you pick an album, then any song from it is off limits.
Correct.
If you pick a song, then you could pick other songs from the album, but the album's off limits.
Correct. Yep.
So like if I picked Styx Paradise Theater, nobody else can pick a Styx song.
Off that album.
Somebody could pick Too Much Time on My Hands, and somebody could pick The Best of Times.
Right.
That would work.
That would work.
We'll
Okay.
explain that if it comes up.
Yep.
I just did.
Yes.
I know, but if it comes up, we'll re-explain it. I know.
All right.
The order here is Gifford, Pete, me, and Jim. Jim drew the short straw, although it's snake draft, so he probably could be in the best position here. He gets to pick twice.
Yeah.
At the end of the first round here.
All right. So that's the other thing. When you have a loaded category like this, it's tough to go first because there's just so many opportunities. But I think I'm going to go with one of the biggest songs that everybody still loves to this day. I am going with one that came out October 19th of 1981, and that is Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. Number 9 on the Hot 100 and also in Canada. It's kind of surprised that it's not higher up the charts overall, but obviously I think one of the biggest songs and best longevity of one of the songs that came out of 81.
So now this comes up already because I would have picked the album Journey Escape, which was one of the biggest albums because there's so many bangers on it.
There's so many bangers.
But those are still available individually. So nobody can pick the album Journey Escape, which is a great pick in its own right.
That was my number 1 pick, the album.
That's kind of, I figured it'd be one of the top ones.
Yeah. So that's my number 1 pick.
My reason for picking this song is that this was truly a song that I loved in 1981, pretty much right when it came out. I can remember listening to this song over and over again. And Brad already said he's not taking any country songs, but I'm going to take it. Elvira.
Haha, there you go. See, because we're going to talk about that coming up big time.
See,
that's kind of the whole point of my whole episode is that song in particular.
Pete, I did take
songs I like
because,
better that are on the list, but this one at the time it obviously stood out.
It would have been my number 1 at the time too, of course.
Well, and Pete, I was going to take Elvira number 1, but when Brad says he's not taking country, I'm like, well, maybe it'll slide all the way back to the 8th spot, but that's a great pick. I love that pick, Pete.
Right.
Yeah. See, I left it for you. All right. I got my number 1 on the board here. This is, I think it could be argued the best song of the 80s. It's definitely in the conversation. And that is this little duo or not a kind of a duet, but it's one band. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Human League, Don't You Want Me? Number 1 with a bullet on my list. You will never get sick of that song. That is a song that will live on forever. And when she comes in with the second verse, it's just like magic and you can't beat it.
That was number 1 in Belgium, Canada, Ireland, Israel, New Zealand, Norway, and the US.
Thank you.
So kind of a big deal.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
Jim now gets 2 picks.
With my first pick, I'm going to go with what was number 2 on my list, and it was number 1 for 9 weeks in the US. And the number 1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 for the year 1981, and that is Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes.
You know, that's funny. I totally missed that one. I don't even have it on my list.
That song was number one in Australia, Brazil, Finland, France, Italy, Norway, South Africa, Spain, Switzerland, the U.S., and West Germany.
How did
Why
I
don't
miss
you
made-
just
it-
list
it made
off
the
the,
rounds.
the countries it was not in?
Yeah, right.
It'd be shorter.
I mean, good God, what a great pick. Yeah.
And then my next pick, I'm going to go with the classic rocker from General Hospital, Mr. Little Ricky Springfield. I'm going to go with Jesse's Girl.
Nice.
That's a good one. Those are two great songs.
Those were the first two that I wrote down on my sheet for tonight. So
That was the first two that I also wrote down. And then I saw that Escape was 1981. And I'm like, I hope I picked first because I'm taking everything from Escape.
All right. Well, I am going to go. I want to pick an album now. And this is one of the biggest albums of the year. And they are the first band who wrote, sang, played all their instruments, blah, whatever, to be number one, the Go-Go's. I'm picking Beauty and the Beat with Our Lips Are Sealed, which is my favorite Go-Go song. And we got the beat. And that's vivid memory of those videos on MTV that I had. The Go-Go's are great. That's my pick.
what was the album?
Beauty and the Beat.
Yeah, I didn't do any. I guess I wrote down one, but that was it. Okay.
Is it my
I
turn?
struggle a little bit there, Brad, between Jesse's Girl and Beauty and the Beat. If I had known you were going Beauty and the Beat, I probably would have went there. But
I was between two albums there, and I decided the other one probably will last longer, I'm guessing. But
Yeah.
who knows?
My
Pete?
turn now. Being on a podcast with two great drummers, I have to appreciate. I have to appreciate a.
That would be me and
drum-
Giff,
a
by the
great-
way.
A great drum solo, and there is none better. When you think great drum solos of all time, I think of "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. This is a song that it's sort of like Elaine's Boyfriend, where every time Desperado comes on, this is a song I tell everybody to shut up because I have to listen to this song. In the Air Tonight.
Really just the drum fill, but the most
Yeah,
famous one, maybe.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sure.
Probably one I could even play, maybe.
Yeah.
It's
Not-
really not that complicated.
I don't think
Nope.
so.
I don't think, or hard. I'm not a drum expert.
No
by any
hi-hat
means, but
involved, so that's
it's just
good.
the way it hits you at that perfect moment in the song, and of course, a great overlay to the movie Risky Business, which we talked about before. But just a perfect song.
You know, I got 30 songs and albums combined written down here, and I didn't have Betty Davis Eyes or In the Air Tonight. So I don't even know
Wow.
what I was looking at. I missed some huge ones,
Mhm.
and I've still got 30. It's
Well,
crazy.
yeah, that's the beauty of doing this is you don't get them all. You miss something somewhere. You know, so
Well, you get
that's
two now, Giff.
Yeah, so I am gonna go with Cal, I don't think it's on here, but I really want this particular song. Yeah, it's not on this album. All right, I am gonna go with Hall & Oates, You Make My Dreams Come True. April of 81, hit number 5 on the Hot 100, 3 times platinum in Australia and the UK.
Well, yeah. So Private Eyes came out that year
Yep,
with Private Eyes, and I Can't Go For That. But this song
Right.
wasn't on it.
it's not on it. I just rechecked.
I checked it too. I mean, I didn't
Yep.
check it when he said it, but I was looking for that too, Brad. It wasn't
Yeah,
on
was
there.
it on some other?
It was on the one before.
Oh,
Um,
so it came out before Private Eyes came out. Then you mean?
Yep, but it wasn't released as a single until April of 81.
Interesting.
Hall & Oates was just pumping out albums back then.
Yeah.
Just amazing, absolutely amazing. My third pick, I should say, second pick in a row here, came out July of 81, number 1 in Australia, Belgium, Canada, South Africa, West Germany, and number 8 on our Hot 100. This is Tainted Love by
Oh,
Soft
you
Cell.
took that.
I know that's Kim's favorite song, right, Brad?
Yep.
Yep, I'm picking it for her.
I almost
guessing-
picked it
I'm
second.
guessing a couple wives might come up tonight.
In fact, the next song is going to be a tribute to my wife. I would be remiss if I didn't pick this one. Now, my wife loves gifts that have a personal touch to them, and that's always very hard to find. So
Gifts with a personal touch?
gifts, GIFTS.
Oh, shit.
So I bought a shirt or a hoodie that says 8675309 because her name is Jenny. So that's
right.
the one I'm going with.
We
She
have
loves
made
it. She still
history.
wears it.
We have made history here on Pop Culture Yearbook. This is the second time that this song has been picked by the same member
You remember that?
of this podcast. You did pick this song, I think, for 1982.
Yeah, which was just this year, a couple months
Yeah.
ago.
So when I wrote it down, I was not going to pick it. I wanted Pete to pick it. I wanted history to be made here
There you
tonight.
go.
He erroneously took it. We said okay, and now he has claimed it in its proper year. So good
Well, and
call,
it's
Pete.
funny,
Thank
you know,
you.
he did that. But like, if you go back to Tainted Love, that's an interesting one too, because that also came up in 1982. It was on my playlist that I had made for that year because it came out like at two different times. And so
Mhm.
depending on the release date of which country, you could kind of like
Yeah.
fudge it how you want.
Sometimes
took
the
stuff
internet
that
is
was
not always
released-
accurate depending on the sites that you're looking at. So that's what makes it tough.
I would take stuff that was released in the U.S. Like if it was, unless I really, really, really loved it, then I go, well, it was released in the UK in whatever year. But yeah, Tainted Love is a little different, and it wasn't on the top 100 songs of '81. It cracked the top 100 in '82, but of course it came out in '81. So halfway
Okay.
through the year.
I'm going to pick another album. This is the one I was going to pick last time, maybe. This is one I have another vivid memory of. My brother had the tape. He had both tapes of the two albums by this band that came across the ocean and from down under. And I listened to them all the time. And that's Men at Work, Business as Usual with Who Can It Be Now, Down Under. And I don't think it was a single, but I always loved the song Be Good Johnny. This was a tape that he had and I wore out whenever like he wasn't around. So, and they were like one of the biggest bands of the year too. And again, with the MTV, they got heavy rotation.
Shoot, where's my Men at Work at?
I didn't have them on my list.
I did. Where did I
What?
rate them? Shoot.
You're
I
not,
think because my brain thinks about when it was on the Billboard chart and not when it was released. That's why I had to ask you that last night, Brad, because
Right,
when
yep.
Pete said
That's the problem.
8615309, my brain thought 82. And so yeah, Men at Work, you know, their hits on the charts were 82, actually 82 and 83, but
That's where I have difficulty. If you go on the Billboard Hot 100, I try to do that when preparing for this. I had like 20 songs, but then only about 4 that were on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1981, but only about 4 were actually released.
there's this
in
little site
1981.
called Wikipedia.
Yep, you
And it
just
tells
click
you
on
the
it.
release date
Yeah,
of
yeah.
all
Yep, you
the-
click on each song and it'll tell you what's there. Yeah, and when it came out.
all right. So I've got 2 in a row, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
All right. So I am also going to go with an album, and this is where I thought you were headed, Brad. But as soon as you said Down Under, I knew you weren't. I am going to go with the album 4 by Foreigner.
Ah,
So for that, I get Jukebox Hero, Urgent, and Waiting for a Girl Like You as the big hits on that album.
yep. And that's one that as of now, like I'm like, wow, that's a great album. But as a kid, like I knew the songs, like I kind of liked them, but I didn't love them. But when you see all those songs in this album now, it's like, wow, that was a big deal. And
Well,
they're great
speaking-
songs.
As a kid and as songs that I loved, I'm also going to go with another album here. And I am going to go with Juice by Juice Newton.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So
And
when
on
we
that-
do our country episode, she is going to have a heavy part in it.
She
So
was on, I think Lindsay and I picked top 10 for our country, and I think she was on there 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, she's on 3 for sure when we talk about it. The glass is more than half full of juice.
Yes. And so,
So-
Angel of the Morning,
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I got to cross that off my list.
Angel of the Morning, Queen of Hearts, and she actually had she actually covered the Everly Brothers. All I Have to Do Is Dream on this album as well.
And The Sweetest Thing is the other one too.
Yes.
All right. Well, there's so many options here. I will go with. There's a song that like I don't remember as much. I don't think it gets played as much anymore. But when I hear it, it instantly takes me back, and I love this song. And it's not an artist that I am in love with. He's got some good songs. He was definitely big. But this one song was always, it just had such an early 80s sound. And that's Young Turks by Rod Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that song. It just makes me feel so good. And it totally makes me just feel the early 80s. Like it's one of those that gives you that feeling.
Don't ever change your point of view, Brad.
I never do.
This is probably my favorite artist of all time and one of my favorite songs by this artist. And it's honestly, I'm a little surprised that it's still available unless somebody took it and I just missed it. But we already talked about Waiting for a Girl Like You. I'm still waiting. I'm just going with Waiting by Tom Petty.
Oh yes, Tom Petty, The
I have
Waiting.
that on my list.
Yeah, The Waiting.
It's the hardest part, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Love that song, Pete.
So I'm going to finish up here then, correct, with 2 straight picks.
That's correct.
All right, I have to pick this song. This was my second favorite song around this time. First was Gloria, but Olivia Newton-John's Physical came out September 28th of 81, spent 10 weeks at number 1 on the Hot 100, number 1 in Canada for 5 weeks. So that was a big one for Little Gift. I love that song. And my last pick, there are a few songs that take me back to a specific pop culture moment in time. And one of them is by Loverboy.
Yes.
Working for the Weekend, the Chippendales skit from SNL. This came out September of 81, hit number 2 on the US rock charts. And I love Chris Farley. I love that skit. And every time I hear that song, that's what it takes.
I love Loverboy, and I'm so glad they got represented here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to take if you didn't take it. So now I have to make a decision here. A couple decisions. Did anybody yet take Shake It Up by the Cars?
No.
No.
I'm going to take Shake It Up by the Cars.
There you go.
Listen to the Cars' Greatest Hits album many times during college.
Mhm.
That was one of my go-to albums.
Yep.
All right. I don't even know how to pick a final one here. There's just so many to choose from and so many reasons to choose them. But I got to pick something. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with Billy Squier, Don't Say No, because it has The Stroke and Lonely is the Night,
Yes.
which, holy crap, I like rediscovered Lonely is the Night, I don't know, 10 years ago or whenever. And that song is amazing. And so if you can stroke me and play Lonely as the Night, I'm going to take Billy Squier, Don't Say No.
Oh,
Family show here.
Billy.
I'm not saying they go together or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two things do go together.
They
That's
do
correct.
go together. That is
Mhm.
correct.
So many to pick from because I've got so many left on my list.
And we'll go through them all. So
Trying to decide if I go with an album again. I've got 2 albums already. I think I want to go with a single song, but there'd be a good album to pick here too. I think I'm going to go with the song that I thought I was going to get if I would have picked Escape. I think I'm going to pick another Journey song. And it's for some reason, I don't know why it's so underrated and why it didn't make their greatest hits.
yes, I know what you're going to pick.
But I am going with Stone in Love.
Yes. Maybe the best Journey song ever.
Yes.
And not on their greatest hits. I don't get it.
It was a travesty.
We agree again in every way on that. Yeah, so there was Don't Stop, Believin', Stone in Love, Open Arms, Who's Crying Now. Those
Who's
are all
Crying
on
Now?
there, but
Yep.
Stone in Love to me it's the best song of all of them.
Well, Jim, what else do you have as highlights on your music list that didn't get picked?
Well, I have those Journey songs that Brad just mentioned, but I also have the theme from The Greatest American Hero by Joey Scarberry.
Oh, there you go. You love that one.
Mhm.
We covered that one on the when you guys were on
That was on my list.
TV show theme song thing. I've got Private Eyes by Hall & Oates, which was mentioned before.
Mhm.
On Olivia Newton-John's physical album was also Make a Move on Me, which is probably my favorite Olivia song. I had Stevie Nicks' Belladonna album. On that was The Edge of 17, and then duets with both Tom Petty and Don Henley with Stop Dragging My Heart Around in Leather and
Yep.
Lace. I got Centerfold by Jay Giles. I've got the song that you couldn't get away from, and only one of two instrumental number ones in the 80s, and that was Chariots of Fire by Vangelis.
Sorry, I was on mute. Was Leather and Lace from 1981 too?
It was on the Belladonna album, yeah.
The album, okay, but
Yeah.
because God, I love that song, and I didn't have that on my list either.
So it was either Stone in Love for my last pick, or it was Bringing on the Heartbreak by Def Leppard.
Yes, that's on my list.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if greatest hits albums counted, and I felt like it was kind of a cheat since all these songs, or most of them, were released in the 70s. But Queen's greatest hits was released in October of 81.
Oh,
Yeah, you're free to take that if you think it's
Absolutely.
the best choice.
I mean, it's cheating, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Gifford's the only one that thinks that, but we did a whole greatest hits album draft, so
Mhm.
we were able to cover them at that time.
Yep.
The Breakup Song by Greg Kinban.
Yes.
Yep.
Take It on the Run by REO Speedwagon.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. The Stray Cats had their album come out this year and had the Stray
right.
Cats Strut and Rock This Town
Yeah.
on
Rock
it.
this town.
Big time MTV songs there.
Super Freak by Rick James.
Nice.
And then one of my personal favorites, which probably doesn't get a lot of respect with our crowd, but I love the Beatles and I love John Lennon. And so I had Watching the Wheels that was released in 81 after he was tragically murdered in December of 80.
Mhm.
I'm going to go next.
Go ahead.
I don't think you mentioned I Love Rock and Roll yet by Joan Jett.
I did not, because like I said, my brain thinks of that as an 82 song.
Okay. Here's one that's so old, but like it's such a cool song, and you'd think it came probably later, but Just Can't Get Enough by Depeche Mode is a great song.
I didn't have that.
Freeze Frame, you mentioned
Mhm.
Centerfold, but not Freeze Frame, right?
Right?
Yep.
Billy Idol, Dancing with Myself. I mentioned Styx before we started. Too Much Time on My Hands is an all-timer, plus the
Mhm.
best of times.
Best
We
times,
showed
yeah.
everybody that we're not big fans of Rush on this show a few weeks ago, but Tom Sawyer came out this year.
Mhm.
Oh, yep.
Let's see. You said all these. Air Supply. I don't love them, but they were giant. My sister had their tape, so the one that you love by Air Supply I had on my list because I heard it over and over and over.
Yep.
Tempted by Squeeze. That's a great one. Duran Duran hit the scene with Girls on Film. Kim Wilde, Kids in America, which has had many great covers as well since. ELO, Hold On Tight.
Yep.
Love ELO. I can't believe, Jim, you didn't mention Billy Joel, did you?
I did not mention Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, Songs in the Attic, with She's Got Away and Say Goodbye to Hollywood. And I thought he's like one of your top three.
He is. That is not one of my favorite albums by him, though.
No.
I love She's Got Away. Cool and the Gang, Get Down on It.
Great
I
song.
can't go for that by Hall & Oates. Quarter Flash, Harden My Heart. That's the last one that hasn't been mentioned on my list.
Excellent. Pete, what do you got? Anything left?
There's only about 2 or 3 left here. I don't think I heard Urgent by Foreigner.
Jim took it when he took the
the-
whole album.
Oh, you
The
did?
album.
That was
Yep.
taken?
That's the album.
Oh, okay. That's
Yep.
fine, maybe. And you said Queen. Did you say Under Pressure? Is that
I don't think
I
that
had
that was on the
yeah.
U.S. release for their greatest hits. I think it was on some other release, a UK release or something like that, but it wasn't on their greatest hits. So that's a good one.
okay? And the last one I had that hasn't been mentioned, unless I missed it, Hold On Loosely by 38 Special.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
big one.
nice.
Oh.
That's huge. I've only got, I think, a couple I'm going to mention here. I'm not going to mention any of the country. We'll get into that on Brad's episode.
There you go.
Neil Diamond, America, came out in April of 81. And the other one, Just the Two of Us Grover Washington Jr. But the last one I'm going to mention, a 2-time appearance on one of our favorite sitcoms, Seinfeld, Morning Train, 9 to 5, Sheena Easton.
Good song.
Came out
Great
this year.
song.
#1 in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the U.S.
Back when
My
Kramer
baby.
was taking care of business.
And also George, as he was working his way into Play Now. Yeah, so they did it twice on Seinfeld.
I missed that one too. That's a great one to mention. I love that song.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a lot of great music from 1981 and more to come because we
Yes.
barely scratched the country surface, which was at this time enormous. We're going to movies next, which was a lot harder for at least 3 of us here.
Yeah.
So this could be an interesting list. We could see what happens here. And it's going to be Pete first, followed by me, Jim, and GIF.
All right.
Pete, do you have your number
I-
1 pick ready to go?
I do. It's in the top 2. It's for me this year is there's 2 choices and then there's everything else. And one of them we're going to be doing on an episode on. However, I have to go with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's
So
the right
it's there.
pick.
I got to take it.
Pete wins the movie draft.
Yep.
That's right, I'm
That's the
out.
pick. This is the category you want the number 1 pick in.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that is far and away, in my opinion, the best pick.
Well, I disagree because I don't know how you can beat my favorite movie as a kid growing up, parts 1 and 2, The Cannonball Run. And I can't, that's probably like the first movie that I remember watching and loving. And I just thought it was the greatest thing ever. So I'll go with The Cannonball Run happily.
Maybe one of the first times ever that those 2 movies have been compared.
Well, keep in mind, Brad went through the entire 80s without seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's
so-
true. Yeah, so that's not even on his radar.
And
if you look at-
Terminator.
To compare them, if you look up the end of the year box office, I'm pretty sure Cannonball Run was, it was way up there with it anyway. It's,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, this was
yeah.
a giant movie.
Yes, it was. And maybe the best part of it is the very end with the credits.
Of course. You
Yes.
cannot beat that.
Yeah.
All right. So my favorite movie in 1981 and probably throughout most of the 80s, if not all of the 80s, which I was hoping I would get because it's my number 2 pick after Raiders of the Lost Ark, was Superman 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I saw that movie in the theater. I loved it. I had the little trading cards. They had trading cards for it. And as a kid, I looked over those things and I studied those things like it was the Zapruder film.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
still remember
Back
specific
to the
images from those things.
All right. You guys need to not only stop picking the movies that I have on my very short list,
They're the
but
only
stop-
ones on the list, Giff.
stop picking the
You've
ones
got
that
a really good one
highlighted
left.
and that I want. So start picking something else that Giffett didn't watch. But I've got 2 here. We're going to take Pete's pick for this month. We're going to go with Stripes.
Good pick.
Yeah, I can't
And-
believe that fell all the way to you, actually.
Right. Yeah.
So you should
Exactly.
be happy.
Well, but the 3 that were picked ahead were, I think I would have picked those ahead anyway. And then one that I was not watching in 1981, but fell in love with this entire franchise, and that is Friday the 13th, Part 2. The first time we have Jason as the killer. In
Sans
the,
hockey
series.
mask, though.
Yep, not until the 3rd. Just
Oh,
had the
really?
old bag, the one whole eye burlap sack on the old melon there.
Yep. All right.
I knew this
right.
was his first appearance, but I didn't know that about the hockey mask.
Yeah, he didn't
It,
have hockey mask till the middle of 3. He puts it
Middle
on
of
sometime
3.
in the middle of 3. Yeah.
Yep, finds it in a barn. Actually, not his first appearance. He was seen right at the end of the first one, jumping out of the water as a child and pulling her back in.
As
But
the killer.
as the killer, this was his first movie.
But he had like in part 2, he had like a burlap sack over his head with just 2 eye holes. To me, that's
just-
way freakier than the
That's
hockey mask.
way more
It was
terrifying.
just
eye hole-
one
one
eye
eye
hole
hole.
because he only had one good eye. Yeah,
That's true.
guy- the guy did a lot as a disabled killer. Let's just put it that way. He did very well for himself.
Yes.
All right,
All right.
with my second pick, you guys have run through my top 4 for sure, but with my second pick, I'm going to go with a movie that I watched a ton. Probably not 1981, probably 82 when we had cable and it was all over HBO. But I'm going to pick Escape from New York with Kurt Russell.
Yep. Good pick there.
All right. See, now this gets hard already.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was 5 years old. So I'm going to pick The Fox and the Hound because I don't even know what else I really watched. But I
Yep.
know I saw that at some point. And that
Great
seems like
pick.
one of the last like good Disney movies before The Little Mermaid finally brought him back.
Mm-hmm. Love that movie.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's a good segue between Fox and the Hound and my movie, but I'm just going to say Porky's.
Yeah. Okay. Pete has officially won the draft now because
Yeah.
if you take Raiders of the Lost Ark and have a Porky's Chaser, you're hitting a lot of ground there.
You are. Mm-hmm.
Man, the next one is here's where it gets really tough. But I guess I will go with, and I found this on the list, and I'm sure that I've seen it, but Brad, I'm guessing you have this one. Looney
Yep.
Bugs Bunny movie.
I do. I almost picked it instead of The Fox and the Hound, but I don't remember that specific one.
I'm
I
sure.
remember
Well,
that
but you
one was
remember
fantastic.
the ones that are in it. That's
Yeah.
I don't remember watching it specifically, but I read the 3 that were in, and I'm like, okay, yep, that saw that. So
Good
God dang
pick.
quit picking the stuff on my list.
All right. Well, I'm going to go from The Fox and the Hound to one that I probably never really saw the whole movie, but it was on HBO and it was so taboo to me when I heard these two guys' names. I'm like, I shouldn't watch this. I'm not supposed to watch this. There's stuff in here. I'm going to pick Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams.
Thank you, Brad. I saw it. I did not write it down, so thank you for finally picking one that's not on my list. I appreciate that.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but as a kid or as a teenager, Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, the first 30 minutes of that was quite possibly the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. All right. So I'm going to go with another movie talking about just cool movies that were on HBO for like a 7-8-year-old boy, like Escape from New York. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of, cool deaths and stuff like that. I'm also going to go with another one. The technology was great then. It's awful now, but it was really cool to watch Clash of the Titans as a 7-8-year-old.
Yeah, never
Right.
seen that either.
All right, now I'm feeling.
Have you
pretty
guys
good.
seen that one?
Yes, I have. It's a lot of stop motion, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I've seen parts of that one, but I did not write it down because I just don't know it well enough. But yeah, I remember the stop motion stuff in there. All right, so now I'm feeling a little better. I do have one movie left on my list that is highlighted. This is For Your Eyes Only. That is James Bond, 5th appearance of Roger Moore. Big Bond fan growing up. And the next one I am going to grab here, I'm going to go Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell, Boomstick. Yes. All right. So I've gotten 4 movies that I've actually seen. So that's good for me.
Only one to go.
80% isn't bad.
All right. With my next pick, I'm going to go with, there were a lot of horror movies in 1981. I'm just guessing it was just a dark, dark time.
Mhm.
But I'm going to go with the movie that brought us because of this movie, it brought us the greatest music video of all time. And I am going to go with An American Werewolf in London.
Mhm.
Because Michael Jackson saw that and then reached out to John Landis. And John Landis brought along Rick Baker, and together they helped Michael Jackson film Thriller.
Great pick.
All right, so I went Cannonball Run, dumb comedy, followed by a kids movie, Fox and the Hound. Then I had Cheech and Chong, dumb comedy. So I'm going to go back to the family now and keep it going here. So this is a movie that's actually older, but it was re-released in 1981, and it's a movie that I would have vivid memories of watching, maybe even in the theater. Herbie Goes Bananas. That's my pick. No, I saw that one.
All right. Well, I'm going with one that I know that I watched multiple times as a kid, especially it appealed to me. I'm going with The Great Muppet Caper.
Solid pick. I don't remember
do have
that one.
written down.
And yeah, good pick.
Yeah, I don't really remember that one either. I saw the Muppets Take Manhattan so many
Mhm.
times, but
Yep. And Pete, what do you got for
Oh, that's
your
right, I got
last
two here.
your last pick?
I will go with Arthur.
Yep.
Not a bad list for
Dudley
for
Morphin.
not being confident. Yeah, no, that's a movie I watched a couple of times. I remember thinking it was funny. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with my list, all things considered.
I'm happy that now I will have 5 movies that I saw, so I'm going 5 for 5.
All right, my comedies got a little more racy as they win, so I'm going to end with a racy movie. I'm going to take, which I wasn't watching as a 5-year-old, but I'm going to take Body Heat to close out my list.
Never saw that one.
I haven't either,
Oh, I know that there was a lot of talk about it when I was growing
but
up.
I would like to watch it.
Yeah,
It's
you
one of
should.
those you got to get around to watching someday. So
Absolutely.
it's supposed to be good. I just thought it fit the theme of how I was kind of going. So
Yep. Yeah, you got to stick. If you got a theme, stick with it.
and
All
it was
right.
better than my other option. So
Sorry to jump the gun there.
No, you're good.
But I was trying to figure out which movie I was going to go with last because I still got about 5 or 6 movies on my list. But Giff just said if you've got a theme, go with it. So that has made me make up my mind. I'm doing a lot of, I guess, fantasy, mythology with Clash of the Titans and maybe even Escape from New York. So I'm going to stick with that and go with the story about King Arthur and Sir Lancelot and the Knights of the Round Table. And I'm going to go with Excalibur.
Excellent.
yep, I haven't seen one movie on Jim's list.
You are missing out.
You haven't seen Superman 2 or
I don't
Escape
think
from
so.
New York? Really? Oh, okay. Well, again, if you got a theme, let's stick with it. So I have one of the most prolific killers in horror movie history. I am going to take another one in Michael Myers. Halloween 2 came out this year, and I got a murderer's row in my movies here. So
You sure do. I
Well done.
had that on my list, Giff, because that was the movie that 100% absolutely terrified me as a kid. I had never seen Halloween. I had never seen any of the Friday the 13th. All I had seen was pieces of The Shining. And I remember my dad worked overnight and my stepmom was there and on HBO, we're watching HBO and on comes Halloween 2. And I just remember us watching it, being terrified, her changing the channel, feeling better, her changing it back, being terrified again. And we just kind of hop back and forth.
Yeah.
And there was no way that 8 and 6 and 4-year-old kids should have been watching Halloween 2.
no.
But we did. And that
It's like when I
started
saw
my
Poltergeist 1 year later.
yes. And that started my love for Michael Myers. And now I watch Halloween every year.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, every year on Halloween night after we're done trick or treating, come home, turn on the original Halloween. And
Have
it's
you
still-
watched
nice.
the latest one?
No, I have not.
I have not. I haven't either. But yeah, okay, cool.
So I only have 2 movies on my list that I know I actually have seen. And one of them was when I was 5 years old, and I have a vivid memory of being taken into a movie theater and sitting in the back row and watching On Golden Pond. So apparently my family wanted to see that, and I think I slept through it. But I was in the movie theater, and I still remember going to it. And then this one popped up, and Pete, I'm going to guess you might remember this movie. this is a movie called The Devil and Max Devlin with Bill Cosby and Elliot
I
Gould.
saw that. I do remember it. I don't.
I
remember
bet we
actually
watched it
seeing
together because we used to watch those like Don Knotts movies and like these
Private Eyes
zany-
is the one you're thinking
yeah,
of.
and like Bill Cosby kind of movies, back when you could. And so
Could be.
I don't remember much about it, but I'm 100% sure that it's probably a movie I watched and liked a lot as a kid.
I had the exact same thought when I came across it, but I didn't put it on my list.
The other ones I have listed I've never seen, so I'm not going to bother. So if somebody else can go.
All right,
Pete,
I'll
go
go
ahead.
next. Well, I had this movie on my list because it inspired a great scene in another movie that's one
Chariots
of
of
our favorite
Fire.
movies of all time, Chariots of Fire.
Mhm. Yep.
Had that.
Moose Outside should have told you.
Can't go wrong with Mel Brooks, History of the World,
There you go.
Part 1.
Had that. Yep.
I had Zorro, the Gay Blade.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that.
That's the name of it. I don't
Never heard
remember
It
it.
is the name of it. I don't know.
Yep.
That's the name of the movie. Dragon Slayer and Reds, just to round out my 20.
Okay. The only other one I have on my list that I saw was The Howling.
I had that as well. Yeah.
That's it for me. So,
So
I'm glad I made it through with the 5 movies I saw.
I am too, Giff. I was a little worried that you were going to run out of movies and just have to start Googling stuff.
No, you guys found a few things in there that I hadn't seen, or I didn't have on my list. I figured somebody would have the Muppet movie, so that one I thought I was pretty safe with, and so yeah, a few real good ones. But yeah, early on I was pretty worried because everything was on my list.
Sorry, I just turned the page. There was one more at the end of my list that I didn't mention. Das Boot. The reason I put it on there, I've never seen it or anything, but there's a Simpsons episode where he had a porno called Das Butt. He tried to bring it over to the next door neighbor because they're moving in, but then he found out they're divorced, and so there was no husband, but that's what he had in the bag.
Nice.
He didn't mention it, but it was in his bag of stuff. Das Butt.
Nice. Well, and my connection to that would be from Beer Fest, and they do the Das Boot as one of the challenges, and the head of the German brewery, it was the main guy from Das Boot.
Yes.
So that's
we talked about
thing.
that without
Yeah,
Pete.
That's the closest thing I've got to Das Boot.
Did you have any other ones, Jim?
Yeah, I had Taps. It was the first movie with Tom Cruise and Sean Penn. I had Scanners, which I remember as a kid because as an 8-year-old boy, there's nothing cooler or funnier than seeing a guy's head explode. And then I also had Time Bandits, which is a sneaky cult classic.
Yeah, I'd heard of that one, but I'd never watched it.
I've never watched all of it. I thought it was stupid when I was a kid, but a lot of people our age love it, so I feel like I got to go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I had a much easier time making my TV list than my movie list.
Yes.
So
Same.
we'll be closing it. And as 5-year-olds, parents are doing stuff. You're probably sitting in front of a TV in 1981 and watching things, even if they're not stuff that was for kids. And
Well, you didn't have multiple TVs in the home.
yeah, well, you're watching it with them. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
all right, in this one, I'm first, followed by Jim, Giff, and then Pete. Okay, well,
Fine.
we talked about it a couple months ago, and there's a lot of great choices here, but I got to take the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all were going to take the Dukes of Hazzard first, so I won't disappoint you. That was definitely my favorite thing as a 5-year-old.
Was there anybody that didn't have Dukes of Hazzard as their number one pick? I'm just
Number
curious.
one.
You have to take it. I mean, because
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah,
going
I
to
have
take
to
it.
What would you have
You
done
gotta
if I
do it.
didn't? Because there's
Yeah.
at least 3 other shows here that I really, really love and watched.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a
All
ton
right.
in here.
So I am going to go with the show that followed right after Dukes of Hazzard, and Dukes of Hazzard was the number 2 show. This was the number 1 show of 1981. I'm going to go with Dallas.
Speaking of a show that I saw a lot, but probably
Yes.
didn't know what was going on or care about it, but loved the song.
Okay. Again, 4 turning 5. There's a lot of primetime shows, but Saturday morning is a big deal. I'm going Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show because that is what I was watching religiously.
Go back a few months and listen to our amazing Looney Tunes episode on exactly that topic.
Can't go wrong with that. I am going to go with Alice, which we've talked about on this show. That if you go back to that age, this was my favorite show. This and the Dukes of Hazzard. And then I'm going to go with the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Nice.
The greatest late night show of all time.
Pete was up late. He was finishing off his scotch and enjoying.
I remember
Johnny
usually
Carson.
on Friday nights, I would get to stay up a little bit later. Maybe not in 1981 in particular, but it was definitely in its prime in 1981. And so that's what I'm going with.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when we do movies, I have no trouble picking Friday the 13th. Right? I'm not watching that when I'm 5 years old. So why can't you say the Tonight Show
Exactly.
when you were 5?
can.
I have trouble with it, but I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, why can't I put this on my list? I love this show.
I think the
I might have
difference
not watched
is
it in '81, but
the difference is that because the Tonight Show was on alt, so you could pick it any year you want. So
Sure.
like,
Well,
So it's
that's
like,
no
why
different
they-
than you guys always picking like Monday Night Football.
you're right.
Exactly.
So
I'm not saying you
the
can't.
same thing.
When you're comparing it to a movie, I'm saying that's the difference.
right,
Yeah.
Movie only came out that one time.
sure.
Yeah.
It's, back to me. Okay. All right. I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with something exciting and new.
Oh,
Yes.
the love boat.
I'm gonna go with the Love Boat. I have it
So-
highlighted. I just loved that show, and I'm gonna pick it.
So I got to say, so we went to Alaska. We went on a cruise, and we were on Princess Cruises.
Nice.
And when we get in our stateroom, and there, the TV, of course, and there's stuff you can watch, and one of the main things on there is the Love Boat. And we watched like 5 or 6 episodes when we had downtime. And I didn't realize the Love Boat was Princess Cruises. Like
Yes.
it was the official.
Yep.
And it was so fun to watch it. And it made us feel so good. Like the night before you're going to go to bed, or, it's the middle of the afternoon and you're bored for an hour where you just need to take a break.
Yeah.
God, I love that show. And I want to watch it more.
Isn't it amazing how small
Oh, yeah.
that boat
You look
is
at the
compared to
boat
what
on
you're
the
on now?
TV and then look at the boat you're sitting on. And it's like
Yep.
you could fit 3 of them in there.
Right.
And the amount of people who the captain, they all pretty much knew each other.
Mhm.
And with our boat, it's like 4,000 people on there, counting the crew. They
Yep.
got one bartender, Isaac, and we got like 17 bars.
Right. Yeah,
That's
but Isaac would be
more
busy on your boat.
Yeah.
Good cardio.
Oh, but I just had so
Yeah.
much fun watching it. It's such a great show.
I always wanted to go on the Love Boat as a kid. I just thought that would be so cool. And now as an adult, I always tell Lindsay, because it used to come on here like 3:00 in the afternoon, maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday, and I'd
Yeah.
be like, "The Love Boat is a great show to take a nap to."
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
you can
turn it
go in
on.
and out, and you're not gonna
Doze
miss
off, yep.
anything, or- It's the definition of like comfort TV, though. It's like
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Oh,
that's true.
absolutely. So, when you guys were kids, like think back to when you were 5, 6, 7 years old. Were motorcycles cool to you?
Still are.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yep.
motorcycles were cool to me.
My
And
brother
even
had a
cooler-
Kawasaki.
And even cooler was cops on motorcycles with
Oh, yeah.
sirens. And so
Mhm.
I am going to go with Chip,
Nice.
especially since they got the short end of the stick on our TV theme song episode.
I was just going to say, where were
Little
they?
Redemption.
They
Yep.
were in the 70s bracket and they lost to Different Strokes in the first round.
hmm
All right. Well, I can't believe that this show lasted to
Yeah.
me. I'm taking the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
I mean, the block of Alice and the
Yeah.
Jeffersons was to me just as great as the Dukes. Like I loved all of that. And then the Love Boat. Those are my top 4.
Yep.
For my number 3, I got 3 specific ones I want to take to close out. So we'll see how it works out. I'm going to take Days of Our Lives because so on the farm, we had dinner every day, and dinner wasn't at 5 or 6 o'clock. It was at noon, and you had supper. And, the people would come in and you'd have dinner. And my parents watched Days of Our Lives every single day. And I knew who Bo and Hope were as a 5-year-old, and I knew everything about that show. And then I continued to watch it in college because of all the memories. And so, again, another just nostalgia overload. And another thing that connected me with my parents, along with country music, Days of Our Lives in Dallas, all those things.
Can't go wrong with that.
Nope.
My turn now for 2.
Yes, sir.
I am going to go one of my favorite shows for sure that I look forward to watching, Appointment TV for me, just as much as the Dukes of Hazzard.
Wait a minute.
The Incredible Hulk. What?
We're back to Jim.
Oh, did we skip over?
Is it my turn? I didn't write down the order, so I don't know.
No, we went. Gifford picked a Love Boat. Jim picked Chips. I picked 2. And now it's back to Jim again.
Yeah, Pete, you get 2 after me. Yep.
Gifford blew
Sorry.
that. He said you're.
Forget what I said.
Sorry, I was looking. I was looking at
I didn't hear
movies.
what you said. I forgot already.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna pick the Incredible Hulk now. No,
God damn it.
Oh, dang it, that was my pick.
I'm joking.
well, the Pete's not going to get it anyway.
Yeah,
This
that's gonna be my pick.
Yeah, no, I love that show. But I'll leave it for you two to fight over. I'm not here to cause any dissent. I'm all here for love. I am going to go with another show that made it deep on our TV theme songs episode, and one of the coolest shows of the entire 1980s, but it got its start in 1981, and that is Magnum PI.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Nice. Great pick. Yeah, you can't argue with the stash. You can't argue with the Ferrari. You can't argue with the theme song. Helicopter thrown in there, some chicks in bikinis. Awesome show. But
I already wrote down the Incredible Hulk, Gifford. So you're
as
not
a
going to change your mind, are you?
as a 5-year-old, I mean, the Incredible Hulk was just so cool.
Yeah.
And during this time, right before the Dukes of Hazzard. So it was Incredible
That's
Hulk,
true.
Dukes, and then Dallas. So
And you always had that sad music playing at the end as he walked away and started heading towards another town, and then you went straight into Waylon Jennings.
yeah. So I'm sticking with yes, I want the Incredible Hulk for that.
Pete, now you get 2.
All right. Well, this one is thinking outside the box a little bit, but it is one that I watch frequently every, I believe, Saturday afternoon. ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Oh,
I enjoyed sitting and not knowing what you're going to get. And they're going to throw some random sport at you. It's like, okay, today I'm going to watch ski jumping. Now I'm watching bowling. And I just enjoyed that whole thing.
Great pick, Pete. I didn't even have that on my list. Wow.
I used to try to tune into that and shows like that because of the word sports, and then it wasn't what I wanted, and so I never really got into it. But
Too much
it
egg
was
in
more
your feet
open-minded, I guess.
Yeah.
You get another one.
Well, I
Pete.
mean, it's really what I enjoy about today watching the Olympics, because you get a sampling of sports that you don't normally get to see, and you learn about different things. So I do have to go with, because this is another show that's been on forever, so it's like you could pick any year, really. But in particular, I was a huge, huge fan of this show. It's one of my favorite game shows of all time. Price is Right.
Ah,
Nice.
see, now this is a
I
fun
think-
list.
I have mentioned on this show before that I went by the nickname Bob Barker. I would not respond to anything else.
Nice pick. All right. Well,
You still got all those theme songs loaded in there, Jim. You should be playing those as we pick.
No, I had to get rid of those and get and put in our new stuff.
all right. I am gonna go. God, I got 3 that I really, really want. But I'm gonna go back to Saturday morning and Scooby-Doo. Where are you? I loved Scooby. Daphne. I mean, come on now. Even as a 4 or 5-year-old, I was recognizing some stuff between her and Daisy Duke.
Oh my goodness.
It was good times. So yes, I'm going Scooby-Doo.
Fred was always running off with Daphne. He's like, "You three go somewhere else."
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, we'll go this way. You guys
I think
go
we
that
all would
way.
be.
Mhm.
With Pete's first pick, we know that he was really interested in Linda Lavin. So,
Mhm.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
all right,
All right.
Jim.
Giff, well, I'm going to stick with that Saturday morning thing. And to me, as a kid, there was nothing cooler. And I loved this more than I loved Looney Tunes. Not now. I love Looney Tunes better. But back as a 7-year-old, there was nothing cooler than the Super Friends Hour. I got Superman, I got Batman, I got Wonder Woman, I got Aquaman, and not that I cared about Aquaman, but I'd get Hawkman and Green Lantern and all these cool superheroes that I was just soaking in the little tiny brain trying to figure it all out.
All right, I'm going to close mine out here. So I'm going to pick one now. We've just discussed this. We can do what we want. We took, whatever, the Tonight Show. I'm taking MTV because it debuted in 1981 and you're watching
On
it
my
all
list.
the time. So I'm taking MTV as my fourth one. And then my fifth one, I was waiting
So
on this
just
one. 'cause I knew-
videos, because that's all they had.
Sure.
Yep.
I knew nobody was going to pick this. But a show that I remember, I don't know, probably on Saturday nights, I'm assuming, maybe it was Sunday, but we would watch it every week again as a family. It's got a whole country thing. Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters. Anybody else
remember
remember
that
that show?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
I
a
thought you were going to say
variety
Hee-Haw
show.
there for a second, but
I did
Hee-Haw
too.
would-
Yeah.
that could work. But I remember this show every week at night, and there would be, variety, funny things in it, music, probably really bad stuff. But as a 5-year-old, I'm thinking this was pretty funny, or I'm looking back and having positive thoughts now, at least. So when I saw that list, and I'm like, wow, I had pretty much forgotten about the show all the way, and now it's back.
Yep.
I don't think it's as good as The Love Boat, though.
Nothing is.
I don't think I need to go re-find it.
We're missing variety shows today.
We
I
are.
found.
They were such a big deal.
All right, my last pick. It's going to be a small pick. It's going to be the show that came on after The Love Boat when I was a kid. And I'm just going to say, look, boss, deplane.
Yes.
I am
And
going
that-
with Fantasy Island.
Yep. Yeah, that's another comfort show.
Yeah.
Like Love, like you say, it's back to back. Yeah, that's a great pick. With
Dallas
Tattoo.
Chips, Magnum PI. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's a pretty good list.
That's a pretty solid list.
I mean, I think all 5 of these are pretty solid and will reach
I think so,
somebody.
yeah. Yeah.
These are great lists.
They are.
All right, Pete, your unbelievable great pick of the wide world of sports jogged a memory for me.
Okay.
And I would watch this, I believe it was on Saturdays, with one Mr. Marlon Perkins. And this
Oh,
is
yeah.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Ooh.
I was a huge fan
Loved-
too.
Loved watching that show. And when you said that, I was like, aren't those kind of like back to back, like Saturday afternoon?
I think that Wide World of Sports actually ended a little earlier in the afternoon, like 3:00 or something.
Okay.
And Mutual of Omaha was around 6, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, but I loved watching that show.
All right.
Last pick of the night.
Three's Company.
Nice.
Just going for
Come
it.
and knock on our
Knocking
door.
I'm just going for it.
That's one that I was shocked at how little play it got in your theme song tournament. It seems like that would be just one of the
Come
biggest
and
ones,
knock
and
on
it
our
seemed to
door.
go nowhere.
I believe it also got knocked out in the first round. I don't remember what the matchup was.
Was it the Muppets?
It may have been. It may have been the Muppets versus
Which-
Three's
The
Company.
Muppets
And
are cool, but no way. I don't agree with that.
so I would say that the Three's Company is a better theme song, but I would say that the Muppets theme song, there's, we're talking about comfort food, right? And comfort
Yeah.
shows. There's just
I mean,
something
it's
about the Muppets as a little kid that people just love. And
And I picked the Muppets when we did our theme song draft with Rappy.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm just saying that Three's Company seems to be such just an iconic one to me
Mhm.
that I was surprised. That
yeah,
it didn't go
I
anywhere.
was too. I was too. But that was the fun of having different groups
Mhm.
on different, brackets to figure it out.
Yep.
So
All right. Well, I hope you had fun, Jim.
Well-
You wanted to come try this out with us.
We got
We're gonna
others.
do their honorable mentions.
Yeah,
right?
do our
some
honorable
others.
mentions.
You're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gif. You go.
All right. I got a few in here. That's incredible. With,
Oh,
Fran
see,
Tarkenton.
So
I was going to
Francis-
bring that up for the Minnesota connection there with Fran
Yep.
Tarkenton.
Absolutely. Happy Days
Yep.
was a great one. Benson was wonderful. Charlie's Angels, Popeye, the Jetsons, Tom and Jerry. But the one that I wanted to mention, a little more regional for the three of the people on this show. Every day
Captain
after
11.
school, Captain 11, Brad, a
Great
former
pick.
crew member. He was a crew member of the captain.
I was it might have been the same year. I might have been in the newspaper and on TV.
Wow, you
Okay.
were really branching
So-
out.
And here I
wow.
am today with a podcast.
I need this explained to me, and also for any listeners that you have it's outside of Minnesota. I think we all
Sure.
need this explained to us.
So Captain
What
11
was
actually
Captain
is from
11?
South Dakota because he's on
Yep.
the Sioux Falls Channel 11, CBS Channel 11 in Sioux Falls. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Gif.
And he was the local weatherman on the news, and he
Sioux
would.
Falls is only just over an hour away from where we grew up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where our CBS and ABC, at least that's where I was getting my channels from. Was Sioux
Yep,
Falls.
We were too.
Same.
We all did.
And he would, dress up in a captain's uniform. He did it for I think 45 years or 41
Yeah, yeah.
years.
Really? Wow.
And he would have a studio audience of children, and they would come in, and he would go around with his little microphone, and everybody,
Kind of like the Bozo
this-
show.
yeah,
I was
got to
just
say
gonna
their
say that,
name,
yeah.
and then he would play 3 cartoons in a half an hour show, and then that was about it. But it was on at like 4:30 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
That
You're
was
forgetting,
Esther
you're
and I.
forgetting that you could pick out a key if it was your birthday.
Oh,
I think
that's
it
right.
was.
Yep.
You pick out a key, and if it opened the lock, a treasure chest, you won a
Mhm.
prize.
Oh,
that was
nice.
inside the thing. It
So it's one of
it was
those
a-
cool
It was a big,
after-school
big deal.
kid shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds fun. Yeah.
And
That's
he
cool.
had the wisdom of Solomon and the strength of Atlas.
Yes, he did.
That's how
Yeah.
it was introduced.
And
That's how it
Brad
introduced.
was on the show one time.
Yeah, I don't
He-
remember how
Wow.
you got on or whatever, but my sister and I she sat by me probably because I wouldn't do it alone. But we got to sit in the audience for a show once, and I have a picture. So I have to see if I have that picture somewhere because I know we had a picture of it too.
Nice.
So,
I gotta
Yeah,
look for all these. I could post a lot of stuff this week.
absolutely. So that was kind of my mind. I had that one highlighted. Love Captain 11.
Glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you mention Too Close for Comfort with Jim J. Bullock and Ted Knight?
No, I didn't.
Love that show. WKRP Bosom Buddies, which I didn't watch them, but rediscovered it later with Tom Hanks is on the show and my guy from Newhart, Peter
Scolari.
Scolari.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Taxi, Give Me a Break, all these we talked about on Jim's show with the things. Another like Saturday afternoon American Bandstand
Oh,
or Saturday morning maybe, whenever that was.
Ooh,
It was
yeah.
like 11 o'clock in the
11
morning.
o'clock or noon. or
Right after the
something, yeah.
cartoons were over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Different Strokes, One Day at a Time, Archie Bunker's Place, the spinoff.
Mhm.
And I think everything else has been said that I have. What else you got?
All right. I got, I had to have this on my list, and I knew you were going to say Days of Our Lives, the soap opera that I was into because my mom really liked it, and then I somehow got hooked. Guiding Light was on at
Oh,
2
really?
o'clock. Yeah.
Mhm.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which I think
Ooh,
we talked
good one.
about with Jim and Lindsay before. Mork and Mindy, and I think everything else we've said that I have.
With all those Saturday morning cartoons you brought up, we should remind people too that the first time Jim and Lindsay were on with us, we drafted Saturday morning cartoon characters, and that was a
That
great
was when
old
we talked
time.
about it.
That was a lot of fun.
About a
I didn't
year-
know you guys were going to go
2
so
years ago already.
so Looney Tunes heavy. Yeah, it was over a year ago, I
Or
believe.
one year, yeah, a year,
Yeah,
little over
you're-
a year ago.
So I had I always go with the Greatest American Hero because that was the greatest
Yep.
show for me as a kid. The Fall Guy, that was a lot of fun. Did somebody mention Facts of Life? I feel like somebody mentioned Facts of
No.
Life.
I don't think so.
I
Nope.
didn't.
Speaking of Minnesota, Little House on the Prairie,
Yep.
That was right down the road from where we lived.
That's true. Yep.
Laverne and Shirley,
Mhm.
MASH, and then of course you got the two that you guys mentioned earlier that are always on every year. But Saturday Night Live, which was actually pretty awful going into 81, but they did discover Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo. So I remember some of those. And then, of course, the great Howard Cosell on Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, now, Jim, did you enjoy drafting? Was it
Oh,
all you hoped?
absolutely. I love all kinds of drafts. No matter what you do. And so when I discovered your show, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like they draft every week. And this is all. Now I discovered you late, obviously, right? I didn't get you early. I've gone back and listened to some early ones, and you guys put in the draft a few years into it. But
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is so cool. They do drafts. So that's why when, the first time we had you guys on, we did the hairband draft, right?
Mhm.
Because I love drafts and that's what you guys do as well. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And then like I was telling you, Brad, over text earlier or last week, the thing that I enjoy about your guys' show is even if you're covering something that I've never watched or never seen or a band that I don't really care for or whatever, you're always going to have a draft at the end. So I'm always going to listen to that. But then at the beginning of every month, you always do 3 drafts. You do a TV, a movie, and a music draft. And those are the shows I don't want to say that I enjoy the most, but I know what I'm getting every single time there. It's kind of like when you go out of town as a kid and your parents are like, hey, where do you want to go to eat? And you freaking choose McDonald's, which drives me crazy as a parent. But as a kid, that's what I did too, right? Because you know what you're getting. And so at the first of every month, first Monday of every month, I know what I'm getting from Pop Culture Yearbook, and that is memories of a year and 3 drafts. And I'm digging it, and I'm delighted to be on an episode like this.
Well, we are
Awesome.
so happy.
We're delighted
that
to
it worked
have
out.
you.
Yes, we always are. We got to get at least one more here coming up someday where we get that 5-timer in,
Right.
or 2 more for you if you don't take the technicality of.
Yeah, I'm not taking the technicality.
Okay.
Otherwise, you guys have been on my show 12 times.
We got to keep going. Then. So tell them the name of your show, what you do, where they can find you.
We are children of the 80s. We talk all things 80s. Now, this is, I'm assuming this is going to be released in about 2 weeks or so. So,
The first
August.
Monday in August.
yeah, the
So,
first Monday
like,
in August. So that's a couple of
August
weeks
4th,
away.
right? Yes.
The show that we're airing tomorrow, so if you want to go back and listen to it on July the 16th, will be about the Coreys, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and all their movies, their
excited for that
relationship and growing up and all that stuff. But we cover stuff like that. We cover movies. We cover music. We do a lot of music. We do television. Like you guys were on 3 episodes where we were just doing TV theme songs, right? We were doing a TV theme song tournament. So we like to do fun things like that, but we cover all things 80s. Come and check us out if you haven't. We're a lot of fun. If you think we're boring, just speed it up to 1.5 times speed, and trust me, we sound like we have a lot more energy.
I just assume that's how people listen to our podcast.
We should
That's how
actually
I
try to record an episode at 1.5 speed. See how that goes.
All we should do is record. We should speak at 1.5 slower speed. So when you speed
Oh,
it
okay.
up, it
So
sounds
that'll
yeah.
really piss them off. Then they have to do like double speed.
right.
Okay.
How to Lose Listeners by Brian Gifford.
You know how earlier in the episode I said that I appreciate good drumming, great drummers,
Yes.
right? So Gifford, what band has the greatest drummer of all time?
I know the answer to this.
You should ask
You
Jim
may-
that question.
You may
Oh,
think
Jim.
that I'm going to say Def Leppard, but Jim, who do you think it may be?
I'm going to say it is Preacher Row.
Yes.
It is Preacher
That is
Row.
correct.
And that's how we know
We
Jim's
love
great
their
listener,
drummer
because he
very much.
sticks with us till the very end of the show. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Exactly.
Well, it's a long shower. He takes long showers.
That's right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
My water bill is astronomical.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
alone till 3. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your son is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Hands tied, tell me on my back. I turn it up to you. I'm scared, but there's nothing I can do.